Hey guys, this is World Traveling Udon Maker. My name is John. I have been traveling around the world for more than 3 years, and every time I visit new country, I was cooking this type of noodle called udon from Japan by visiting someone's house or restaurant or hotels, anywhere with kitchen facility basically. I have traveled to more than 70 countries in my life, and in 20 countries out of 70, I was cooking this noodle and more than thousands of people had my udon there. So today I want to talk about my experience in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a country in Africa, but it's very interesting how it's very different from other African countries. It has an essence of Middle Eastern vibe in Ethiopia. So it's kind of like African vibe and this Middle Eastern culture mixed up together, and that's how this country becomes very unique compared to other places. So it's even though it's close to Egypt or Kenya, what they have as their culture is very different from either of them. So the very unique experience I had in Ethiopia, I will not forget about this experience, but it's about the meeting with ethnic minority group in the south of Ethiopia. There are a huge number of ethnic minority groups living in Ethiopia, but especially in the south, near the border of Kenya, there are a huge number of ethnic groups living there, and I just got to visit them last year. Like I said, there are lots of ethnic groups living in a specific area in the south of Ethiopia. One of the most famous ethnic group uh, that's very well known in the world is that this people with the huge plate on their lip, hanging from this lower lip. You know what I mean? It's very hard to explain, but this minority called Mosi is very famous there. I guess the most famous ethnic group in Africa is Masai, and this Mosi is probably the second most famous in Africa. But unfortunately, this Mosi tribe is becoming way too popular throughout the world, and because of that, there are way too many tourists coming over to see them. So it's becoming very touristic, and what's happening now, as far as I know, is there are like a bunch of vans going to their tribe every day, and what they're doing is this tribe is every morning they wear the very traditional clothes, and they've got this plates on their lips and just get ready to welcome the tourist, and they ask the tourists to take lots of photos, and every time they take photos, they ask for donation or tip. And at the end of the tour, yeah, it's becoming like a tour to to visit different type of minorities in Ethiopia. But especially with this Mosi tribe, it's becoming very very commercial. And with this Mosi tribe, at the end of the tour, what happens is after asking tourists to take lots of photos, they sell lots of souvenirs related to this tribe. So accepting lots of tourists in their village is becoming their way of making their living, and it's very very touristic. I don't like to go to places like this. So what I did was I just went to the south by myself. I took a long bus, and it's so tough. I'm talking about this unique experience, and it's definitely one of my best experience. But I don't know if I want to go back. It's that hard. So I was on a bus, and it's so rough. The road is so rough. Like it's so different from 10-hour bus in other countries. In Ethiopia, this bus driver is, oh my god, it's so tough. Especially in this area, in this south of Ethiopia, even though, like I said, it's becoming very touristic. There are no local bus going to the place I want to go to. So there's only once or two times in a week. So that's why lots of tourists take the tour to see this different type of ethnic groups. Otherwise, you have to wait for a bus that's coming in the next 2 or 3 days. You have to wait for that long. But I didn't like to do either. I didn't like to take a tour. I didn't like to wait for the bus. So what I did was, I usually do this, but I was hitchhiking, even though there are not many cars coming on this kind of countryside. There are no anything here. There's only some trees and the road, and it's not even a road. It's so rough. You walk here. Walking is okay, but I want to explain how rough this road is. So I came here by the bus, and the tire of the bus was stuck in this hole on this road. So what happened was, we all got out of the bus, and we were just watching how the driver is, maybe he can get the bus going and get out of the hole by himself. So we were just watching him trying. It was like, vroom, vroom, vroom. He's trying by himself, but obviously it doesn't work because the hole is so big that the tire is like completely fitting in this hole. So in the middle of the night, we didn't know what to do. So all we can do is to help the driver get out of the hole. So all the passengers went to the back of the bus, and we were all pushing the bus together. But even with that, the bus could not get out of the hole. So what we just did was, we just waited there, hoping the car will be passing by, and we were finally able to get to the place. So that's how rough the road is. And so from this kind of experience, maybe you can imagine how rough the road is, and what I could see, and how the situation is like. So I was walking on this type of road, was waiting for the cars to pass by, and there are not many cars coming. There are only few cars passing by, and one car stopped, but that was a tour car, so it was full of people, and they wanted to get me in, but it just didn't work in that kind of situation. So something like that happened a few times, and one car came, and it was a guy from Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia. And this guy was about my age, about 30 years old or something, and he helped me with the ride. So after all this, I finally got to the place. And I mean, I wasn't heading to anywhere, because all the well-known places are becoming touristic already, and I didn't like that. So wherever this local Ethiopian guy could drop me off could be the best place, because wherever the local people go to is always the best place to explore. It's not becoming touristic. So the place he dropped me off was so interesting. I was like the only tourist walking on the street. Some people on the road was not wearing anything, like half naked, and obviously some people were wearing their traditional clothes from their tribes, and they were not wearing the Western clothes I was wearing. It was so interesting to see them walking on the street, buying some stuff from the small shops, and the fact that me being only the tourist in this area, and being able to capture some scenes of very, very real lifestyles of these ethnic groups. Unfortunately, I didn't take many photos, because if I take photos, I thought I will be a tourist, and they are the different people. I wanted to be, in this place together with them, not the guy from other countries. But there are some photos that I took are it's on my blog. So if you want to see what I saw and what I experienced, please check that link from below. Anyway, I thought was in other side of the world, and I'm seeing something very, very, very rare. So even though it was very tough to get to this place, it's still in my memory. It's definitely best part of my trip this time. So I think I should talk about this more in the next episode. If you have something you want me to talk about, please leave a comment. See you next time.